All right, the next step is going to be estimating the CTF from the micrographs that we just aligned. So CTF estimation is the next job down from motion correction. In this case, we actually don't have a lot of parameters or any parameters for users to change because we felt like as this intro level, we wanted you to focus on more downstream tasks. That said, we still have to go through it because CTF information is still required for later steps. So like every other rely on job, we have this green box that users will input the input. In this case, it's asking for input micrographs. And so when I click browse, you'll notice it's only going to show me motion correction inputs here. If you remember, we imported movie data and that was an import job 1. But that's movie data and Reliant knows the difference between different types of data, and that's why it's only showing you motion core. So here I double click into that directory and then into the job I want to use. So in this case, this is the star file. Again, star files are text files that point to real data. When I click on this, I click OK, and now it has this as the input. And now there's a number of options that are used for CTF estimation, and we're not going to change any of them. And so in Relion, you have there's two choices of which software you want to use. You can use a program called CTF Find 4 or GCTF. They are very similar, but a little different. In our case, we use CTF Find 4 for our pre-calculation. Again, there's a bunch of options here, and these are related to CTF estimation, and we can talk about those in later movies and what they all do, but typically users never change these either. The defaults usually work. And when this is all set up, I told you there's nothing to be changed here. Everything here is magenta. So here we go. Let's click run. Like other jobs, it's sifting through the database of pre-calculated results here. And now when it's ready, it'll come back with a finished job. And while that's running, let's talk what CTF estimation is. CTF estimation is estimating the aberrations in the micrographs that were caused by being out of focus in the instrument, and that we're going to correct these aberrations in later steps when we do 2D classification specifically in this simulator. So the job finished, it showed up over here. We also have the standard output file. If we click on this, we can see different outputs. So in this case, it's telling you which micrographs it used for motion correction, for CTF estimation. And then it tells you which program it's running, and then it also made a log file. So let's take a look at the log file. So if I click on this job, and then I click on this folder, there's a few things here: the input micrographs, outputs, CTF information, and the log file. Okay, so similarly to the motion correction log file, it gives you sort of per micrograph information. So here is across the 6 micrographs, and this is the rely on defocus in 1 dimension. So how out of focus it is, and this is in angstroms. And in that case, 10,000 angstroms is 1 micron. So it varied across the images. Here is again a histogram, which is not super helpful with only 6 micrographs, but again, histogram. It also keeps track of the defocus angle across all the data, which shouldn't be varying too much anyway. It should be pretty close to 0, like this. Again, a histogram, and we're moving down here because I want the one value that is really nice to look at is past this one, and it's this number that's called the CTF max resolution. And so this number tells you how high in resolution could the CTF fitting program detect tone rings in the micrograph. And so here you have resolution, so it should be high. It should be close to 3 or 4 angstroms. It's a good number to be checking for your data sets. And then finally, just for the sake of completeness, there is one other number that it outputs, which is what's called a figure of merit, or you can think of it as the confidence score of its fit. And this could also be useful when looking at how a CTF run performed on a data set. Okay, great. So we just ran CTF estimation. The next stop is going to be particle picking.